And guys looking together. And Dev.
Straight ahead. You gotta look at us. Can you look directly at us?
You know, my friend was showing me pictures of me writing with my writing partner in my garage, and now to be here at the Chinese theater is insane. It's a pinch yourself moment. I mean, look at that. That's who is that guy? That's you. I hope it's just fresh. It's different. I've made it with so much love. I think, you know, it's really it's kind of an ode to the genre, you know, and it's kind of this great cocktail of films spanning from Bruce Lee to Bollywood to the great Korean revenge movies, all of these things that have influenced me, and I think there's a real beating heart in there at its core. It's saying some things, and it's not got just physical punches, but it's got some great emotional, political, socio-political punches in there as well. You know, revenge at its core is like such a maximal feeling, you know. And so for me, the catalyst has to be as maximal, you know, and, you know, this is really about a traumatized individual, you know, who's kind of like a cornered animal. That's the title, Monkey Man. But, you know, I hope the film's a very cathartic experience at its core, you know, and there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of love, it's an ode to mothers, there's everything in there. We have this maestro in India called Zakir Hussain. He is one of the best musicians to grace this planet, and we have one hell of a training montage with him in this. He's incredible.
And that smile right here. And looking to your left.
Sharlto looking left.
Mr. Copley, one time. You're looking back, sir.
Very special. It was a very personal movie in the sense that I'm really close friends with Dev, and so there's kind of that extra enjoyment of just sort of vicariously experiencing his sort of success and triumph with the movie because he put his heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears into it. For me, personally, it's just what I love about him as an artist is he has heart, which is very unusual for action heroes. He has like a soul and a heart to him that I think permeates the movie beyond even what's in the script. It's just there's a soulfulness and a heart to the character. It's not your typical tough guy. There's heart there, which I think is special about this one. It's familiar in the sense that it's action. It's one of those things that's familiar but not too familiar. It's unique but familiar enough. That's a better way to word it, I guess. So you've got the total kind of Indian culture seeping through the movie, but it's still the action stuff that people love and kind of crazy, you know, action moves and like, oh my God, did he just do that, you know, moments. But it's unique. It really is, I think, at a time where a lot of stuff feels like a lot of movies kind of feel a little bit paint by numbers. It's a unique voice. It's a unique film that is not so unique that you don't go see it because you're like, you know what I mean? There's something about this where it's deeper than that, than like, yay, he killed the guy that killed his, what, you know what I mean? There's something poignant about the level of violence that he has to go to. It's almost for me like he doesn't really want to do it in a way, like there's a contemplativeness to it that doesn't normally exist in action movies. So I think that makes it special. I think this will be a word of mouth movie personally. I think people will go see it and go like, look, if you like action, you need to go see this movie. It's just done differently.
Your hand. All right, when you get it, move.
Look up right here.
One time right here, somebody right here.
It's exciting, man. I'm very curious, you know. I'm curious to see how people feel about the film. It's been made with a lot of love, a lot of passion. I'm excited for Dev. I'm just happy. I'm inspired. I really think this is Dev's coming of age. It's his renaissance, and I'm here for it because it's really a story about underdogs who really, find their moment in the sun. And I think that's a story everyone can relate to at some level. It's an exciting, great action thriller kind of movie, but at its core, there's so much emotionality and there's so much vulnerability, and that's a beautiful balance. And I want people to discover that. I want people to discover Dev's language.
Sir, on the left side, sir. Left side right here, left side. And on the left side right here. And right here.
Well, we've watched several other stars, from India also coming here, Irfan, Om Puri, Nasir, and then you see yourself being here. I think that's incredible, and a film which everybody wants to watch, everybody's looking forward. My own guest, they said, Monkey Man, we are coming. I still remember all his phone conversations when I was back in India, and he would call and he would say, I know there are problems, this, that, blah, 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 but I'm going to see you on sets. And that was the thing. He got me transported. There were times where I was thinking whether I should really travel all the way to Indonesia, be there for a month and a half, for shoot and what, you quarantine, this, blah, 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 blah. But always, and what, it was his spirit, because I had auditioned in 2018, and that was the audition. Then we did that, and we had worked well, and we loved each other. And he said, actually because of him, his spirit, his persistence, his I think, belief in his story, and that was quite addictive, And as a director, I would say that whatever my look is in the film, he himself almost cut my beard, my mustache, and got me the right look. And I think being an actor, he really understood what actors loved and how to be directed and push actors' limit. And I think he's pushed us all well for the character. And I'm glad that where we are today, I think that's something, is a divine justice for his effort. You can call it a revenge drama or a revenge drama. The point is, it has deep down somewhere spirituality, and the legend of Hanuman is the new thing, which is adding to the action genre, I feel. It is emotional, and it is yet very believable. Monkey Man who is a superhero but fighting for human operation. And I feel in the times where you have the leaders, elite, who are real but oppressing it, they can call it. But at the same time, you have a hero like a Monkey Man, I think, with a legend behind. I think it's something serious, wonderful blending of mythology and reality.
One thing I must say about him, he knows what he wants. And now I've seen the film and I know what exactly he was fighting for. And he always knew what exactly that he's looking for. And if it wasn't there, he will fight, he will wait, he will drive people crazy around him. But he knew what he needed, what he wanted from a shot, from a frame, whatever. And he fought for everything, actually. So that was amazing to watch somebody so passionate about it's, your film, when you're making a film, it's almost like your baby. You don't want to see it hurt, you don't want to send the kid to a wrong school, or whatever. Everything, your world surrounds around your baby. So he was taking care of his baby in a way, actually. It's an action thriller, but I call it a very gentle film. There is an anger, there is an emotion attached to it, which is very soft. Deep inside, it's a very soft emotion. On the surface, there is a lot of, action.
It's a dream come true. So excited about this movie. It's fun in like a big way, in a time when the world really needs some fun in a really big way. So I'm very excited for people to see it. I think the movie speaks to some very universal themes. It speaks to the idea of protecting our families, standing up for what's right, feeling like against really bad odds, you can sometimes save the world. Dev Patel is just basically like the atom bomb of charisma, right? I mean, just 1 second of Dev on screen, you're like, I want that guy to win all the time. So that goes a really, really long way. But I think it's also, this is a story that's really rooted in something emotional. I think we can all get behind the feeling of wanting to protect your family and to stand up to oppression and inequality. And he gives us all a conduit, gives us a way to live that out in a pretty cathartic way.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I think there's something about Dev as a man and as an actor that he is an implicit underdog. And I think there's something everyone loves in seeing someone who you don't expect as the typecast for an action hero actually boiling over and totally kicking ass in a fun, ad hoc, like Rube Goldbergian, anything on hand I use as a weapon type of way. It's almost like there's so much, I feel like there's a lot of action that is so choreographed to be about expertness. And I feel like with the choreography was all like predicated on, what's this, a frying pan? Okay, great, that'll work. You know what I mean? In a flash. And I think we as an audience fantasize about what we would do in weird circumstances and look at household objects and be like, yeah, I could use that. You know what I mean?
Dev Patel, I feel like, even as a person, if you look at him as a person, he's an artist, he's vulnerable, but he also has the ability to pack a punch. Like, I've always felt that way. He's super, super talented. When you meet him, he's like a very approachable, humble, shy guy. And I feel like that carries through to his character on screen. I have seen the film already. I could watch it 100 more times, but you want an action star that you can actually see a part of yourself in. And I feel like sometimes when you watch action movies, you're like, oh, that person is so beyond anything I could ever physically, emotionally, mentally accomplished. But Dev's character in this film is actually someone where you watch him doing amazing things. You're like, oh, like I actually get a part of him though. Like a part of him is what I see in myself, and I think that's the perfect action hero. I think it's incredible. He worked so hard on it. He said at South by Southwest he had every obstacle come his way. He overcame every obstacle. But that's art and that's passion. And I'll even keep it real. That's often what it takes, especially for underrepresented voices to be heard. Like, our culture is so beautifully displayed in this movie in a way I've never seen it displayed before. And I wish I could say, oh, it's probably super easy to do that, but it's not. It's really, really hard. And I give him mad props for that. I think that the world is realizing something that a lot of communities have known for a really long time, which is you have a movie that is through the lens of South Asian culture, Indian culture. And there seems to be this idea that it's like, oh, I guess that's not for me, or I guess I can't relate to this movie, or I guess it's like I won't understand it. I grew up with Friends. I understood everything. You know what I mean? So I think there's this understanding now that it's like, oh, there's a movie that is, yes, through a cultural lens, but I can enjoy that too. And the action is something I can get excited by. I don't need to be Indian or South Asian to see that this is an amazing action star. You know, this is someone that is just dope and the movie's just dope.
It's amazing. I mean, after so many years of just focusing on every frame of this film, to be here in this special venue is just what dreams are made of. He's incredible. I think he's naturally, as a human being, he's so detailed and you know, his brain works in a way that, you know, working with so many directors, he's already got this innate nature of how actors work. So he was able to bring all that into directing actors. The action thing, that's his own credit, because he was a black belt in martial arts while he was growing up. So he pulled all that together to bring the stunt team to a surprise party, because they didn't even expect it. So when he started showing his moves, they're like, we want to learn some of that, like teach us that, you know. I feel people now more than ever, there's this, you know, with the way everyone's able to talk to each other, social media, the openness of communication. I think culture is a very significant thing, and we're curious about the other cultures more than ever. So when you see an action genre infused with Indian culture, it's original, you know, and we're able to have a platform to talk about culture without obstacles. I think it's a great time to be telling a story like this, you know, referring back to our mythology and culture, blending it with action and a lot of emotion. I think there's never been a perfect time like now to say the story.
And Stephanie, one more time, looking left. And on the left left side here, looking back on the left side.